How's your audio right now, Ray?
Doing good, man. I can hear y'all loud and clear. How y'all? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you, man. And like I was telling everybody, we're gonna be touching up on this Mexico kidnapping, and also we're gonna touch up on this massive nursing fraud scheme. And matter of fact, I think it was Cash, maybe last week. Cash, he DM'd me this actually story that was going on with the actual nursing scheme and stuff that was going on. And yo, it's like 7,600 people buying fake damn diplomas and stuff. Like, I mean, they pay 15 grand to get these diplomas. So this it's called Operation Nightingale. It's a huge, massive story that's been going on. So got to touch up on that as well tonight too. So we live streaming on YouTube as well. So if you guys get kicked out to space, you can't hear, go over to YouTube and join the conversation. And man, it's a shame that with the actual victims and stuff that I've been seeing some reports and stuff. People really been tarnishing, the actual victims that took that they, that got kidnapped and killed and hurt and everything up there in Mexico. They put out advisory, man, and we need to tell our people, please, whatever you do, don't go to Mexico. What's up, Nate? I see you over there on YouTube. Don't go to Mexico. Mexico should be off the travel list for any Black American. Stay out of Mexico. Don't spend money over there in Mexico. Don't go to Mexico. Leave Mexico alone. So, Black Native, you got two profiles? What? So, okay. So, yeah, just stay out of Mexico, y'all. Leave it alone. Mexico, as a matter of fact, I'm going to just say this right here. Stay out of most of these Latin American countries because people up here mistaking you for Haitians. You got cartels up here jacking Black Americans and stuff like that. And the fact of the matter, like, damn, these people just looking for an excuse to go ahead and put a bullet in you or whatever. So you got to be very, very careful going to some of these countries right now. There's a big time anti-Black sentiment against Black folks. We need to stay up out of these countries. I know our people want to travel. They want to globetrot. They want to go to the continental United States. They want to go here, go there. And there's nothing wrong with seeing the world and stuff like that. I have no issue with that. But you got to kind of take heed to some of these places you're going to. Some of these places are not safe places. Some of these places you don't need to have your Black face at. If you do go there, you have a threat of violence. So I'm going to go ahead and say that much real quick. I want to go ahead and touch up on the article because we got some of our people up in here. So might as well go ahead and kick up on it. And I'm going to kick up on, I think I may even start with the fake diploma thing just so y'all can hear that. And then we'll go ahead and get right to it because the article I got from Black Sports Online about the actual kidnapping in Mexico, bunch of articles on Newstoter. But I took a shorter article because I think we pretty much all have heard what's going on. So I didn't want to, I want the people to actually chime in and just give their opinion on it. But I'm gonna start off with this almost it's a Ponzi scheme in terms of the nursing institution, that industry that we got going on. This is from NBC Miami. When I get a chance, I'm gonna put that up in the Jumbotron as well too. It's titled "States Move to Crack Down on Nurses with Fake Diplomas from South Florida Schools." Medical licensed officials in multiple states are scrambling to stop nurses with fraudulent academic credentials from caring for patients after 3 Florida schools were accused of selling thousands of bogus diplomas. New York regulators told 903 nurses in recent weeks to either surrender their license or prove they were properly educated. Delaware and Washington state officials have yanked dozens of nursing licenses. Texas filed administrative charges against 23 nurses. More actions in additional states are expected. In some cases, lawyers for the nurses contend states are questioning the credentials of caregivers who earn diplomas legitimately, but there's a wide agreement in the industry that nurses with fraudulent degrees need to be rooted out. The public needs to know that when they're the most fragile, when they're sick, when they're in a hospital bed, that the individual who is at their beside has gone through required training, said Jennifer Kennedy, president of the American Nurse Association Union. States are acting in wake of Operation Nightingale, a federal investigation into what officials say was a wire fraud scheme in which several now closed Florida nursing schools sold phony nursing diplomas and transcripts from 2016 to 2022. 25 defendants, including school owners and alleged recruiters, have been charged. U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, Mackenzie LaPointe, announced in late January those cases are pending. About 7,600 students paid an average of $15,000 for bogus diplomas, according to prosecutors. Around 2,400 of those people then passed a licensing exam to obtain jobs as registered nurses and licensed practical nurses or vocational nurses in multiple states, prosecutors said. How did so many test takers pass without required classroom and clinical work? In some cases, they were experienced LPNs seeking to become RNs, and some had been in the healthcare providers in other countries. The nurses got the jobs across the country, including at a hospital in Georgia, Veterans Affairs Medical Center in Maryland and New York, a skilled nursing facility in Ohio, and an assisted living facility in New Jersey, according to court filings. Students came not only from Florida, but also from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Texas, and Delaware. Many of the students took their licensing exam in New York, where they can sit it multiple times, according to investigators. Investigators identified the Florida nursing schools as the Palm Beach School of Nursing, Siena College, a school in Broward County that wasn't related to the college of the same name in New York, and the Sacred Heart International Institute, which was also based in Broward County and had no relation to a university with a similar name in Connecticut. It is not entirely clear how many of the roughly 2,400 nurses with credentials from these schools are currently employed or where. Federal officials shared information so states could pursue nurses with phony academic credentials. Some states have taken action. The Washington State Nursing Care Quality Assurance Commission rescinded the RN license of 17 people and denied license applications for 4. The Delaware Board of Nursing annulled 26 license. The Georgia Board of Nursing asked 22 nurses to voluntarily surrender their license. The 23 nurses face possible license revokes in Texas can continue while working. Their disciplinary cases are pending. Texas Board of Nursing General Counsel James Dusty Johnson said more charges could come as officials develop the necessary information for each individual. A spokesman for the Veteran Affairs said it removed 89 nurses from patient care nationwide last year, immediately after being notified by federal officials. The agency has not found any instances of patients being harmed. New York's Office of Profession posted on the State Education Department's website that it expects some of 903 licensees who attended the school who did in fact attend required hours and clinicals are properly licensed. Those people have been asked to have a qualified nursing program submit verification. Attorneys with some of the nurses in New York and Georgia say nurses who legitimately earn diplomas are getting caught up in the investigation. There are obviously people who bought transcripts who are fraudulent and should not be practicing nursing under any circumstances, said Atlanta attorney Hannah Williams. But there are also people who went to these schools legitimately and did nothing wrong, and they are somehow being lumped together with the fraudulent nurses. Williams said her clients are hardworking immigrants who went to the schools that were accredited at the time and have since worked for many years without incident. Similar attorney Jordan Finnersman in New York said his clients who attended classes at one of the schools to finish up the RN degrees, then worked during the pandemic. He said those nurses deserve due process now. The state board actions are taking place as hospitals across the nation try to deal with chronic staffing challenges. Hopefully, the number is smaller once the authorities sort out things, the Kennedy said, American Nurses Association president. So, yeah, just to touch up on that real quick, we wanted to go ahead and just get that article out there. Like I said, you got a massive fraud industry going on. People buying diplomas, people buying certifications. South Florida is the actual the landing spot for a lot of it, but South Florida is not the only spot. Like I said, you also had the Shade Room. They dropped the article. The Shade Room is saying that a lot of these actual people they feel are Black immigrants. They're being framed unfairly. They're saying that it's not right that people are targeting Black immigrants and trying to use them as a scapegoat. So the Shade Room, I believe, put together an investigative piece and pretty much is saying that a lot of these people are throwing salt on actual hardworking Black immigrants who did everything they were supposed to do and did it the right way as well, too. So you got a lot of kickback coming back from the Black immigrant population about this information that's being out. And this is a massive, massive investigation going on. And this has been going on for a minute as well, too. So, Don, I'm going to let you up here tonight now. Hopefully, man, you ain't on that sauce tonight. So, because I still got to go ahead and get to that other main article. You good tonight, Don?
What's happening?
Huh? Because I'm seeing you. Yeah, I can see you. I'm saying you good. You're not tipsy tonight, are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I know you do.
Okay, because yeah, you be chiming in and stuff like that when when people be on the mic. So
not tonight. Tonight is a good night.
okay,
Can
yeah.
I tell you guys something? Can I tell you guys something?
Go ahead.
Boy got his varsity vest. He got his varsity vest today.
Okay, that's a good thing.
I know. I was like, dude, you got it. All right. I gotta spend money on it. I don't like it, but it's gonna happen.
Alrighty. So Don, okay, go ahead and park that real quick. We're gonna go ahead and touch up on the main article. We want to talk about the actual kidnapping that's going on, and y'all feel free to go ahead and chime in whenever you guys want to actually touch up on one of these topics, because we only covering 2 tonight, and that's what I just got through reading, the actual massive fraud nursing scheme, Operation Nightingale, 7,600 fake diplomas being sold for $15,000 all across the country, from Florida all the way to New York to New Jersey. People getting into the medical industry that's really not qualified to actually take care of people, and who knows, what exactly the ramifications are. They're going to be having somebody up that's not qualified to take care of people that's ill. Shout out to you, Diane. I see you over there on YouTube as well too. And real quick, I'm gonna touch up on this article, and I definitely want to hear from you, DJ. I see you up in the spot. What's going on tonight? How's the connection?
Everything's good. What's good? Newstoter. What's good? Ray. What's going on? Chat. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Oh yeah. And let me just say, y'all, this article was from yesterday, but this is a developing story still. So anybody in the actual in the actual space that has news about what's going on, because there are a bunch of different articles. There's about 10 different articles I could have taken off the site and actually talked about, but I'm gonna just go ahead and touch this here, because we pretty much already know what's transpired. We already know that you had 4 Americans, and then we found out that it was a 5th person involved too, and they said the 5th person was the one that actually, she couldn't go because she didn't have her I don't think she had her proper paperwork to actually go into Mexico, so she stayed on the American side. When she didn't hear anything back from her people, she went ahead and got nervous, and she called, and this is kind of how this story, I guess, is kind of developing right now. So and we also heard that the cartel actually also snitched on one of their people and stuff like that as well too. So a developing story going on as well too, y'all. So if anybody has any information on this, please feel free tonight. Open space, come on up here and share your information. This is from Black Sports Online. It says, watch 4 United States citizens get kidnapped at gunpoint while traveling to Mexico to get a BBL surgery. Now, let me say this. I've heard different things. I've heard that it was a BBL surgery that the lady was getting. I heard that it was a tummy tuck. I don't know. From what we understand, it was cosmetic surgery, whether it was a BBL or tummy tuck. It really doesn't matter at this point in time. A video has gone viral on the internet, and it sees 4 United States citizens getting abducted at gunpoint in Mexico. The 4 U.S. citizens have been identified as Latavia Tay McGee, Shaheed Woodard, Zendel Brown, and Eric James. This is via Vlad TV. Video shows a group of friends from South Carolina being shot at and abducted in Mexico. Latavia Tay McGee, Shaheed Woodard, Zendel Brown, Eric James Williams traveled to Mexico on a group trip for cosmetic medical procedures. Were taken on Friday and haven't been heard from since. Like I said, this article is like a day or so old, guys. So, y'all see Black Native up here. Let her come on up here as well, too. I see her requesting. This is like a bad dream you wish you could wake up from, said Brown's sister. To see a member of your family thrown in back of a truck and dragged is just unbelievable. The group had just crossed the border from Texas in a notoriously dangerous city, Matamoros. The group's white van came under fire, and the gunman abducted the travelers. Witnesses say they don't know whether 2 of the victims were wounded or dead after the shooting. They were described as a tight-knit group who traveled with McGee, a mother of 6, so that she could undergo a medical procedure. As they traveled through Mexico, the group was cut off in traffic by a Mexican cartel who reportedly mistook them for Haitian drug smugglers, investigators believe. The Attorney General, Urban Barros, noted that the attack happened last week, derived from the joint search actions. The 4 American citizens deprived of their liberty last Friday, March 3rd, were found. Unfortunately, 2 dead. Investigation and intelligence work continue to capture those responsible. Details will be given later. Ken Salazar, the United States ambassador to Mexico, added that an innocent Mexican bystander was also killed in the abduction. McGee's mother told CNN the 33-year-old never made it to the doctor's appointment in Mexico. The family found out about the kidnapping after seeing videos on social media. We recognized her and her blonde hair. This happened in plain daylight, her aunt told the outlet. The FBI is working with the Mexican authorities and has offered a $50,000 reward for anyone with knowledge that can lead to an arrest. The U.S. Department has also implemented a level 4 do not travel. That means do not take your behinds there to this place. Advisory for U.S. citizens considering visit the area due to threat of crime and kidnapping. Forget just a damn area. Please, black folks, do not go to Mexico at this point in time. There's no point of going to Mexico. I know people say, well, this was just an isolated incident or this or that or whatever. Do not go to Mexico. I don't give a damn if it's Cancun or wherever. Stay out of Mexico. It's not a place that, that's safe for black Americans. And I would say this as well, too. Stay out of a lot of Latin America. A lot of Latin America is not safe for you. People sitting up here talking about they mistaking you for Haitian drug smugglers and this and that or whatever. That's just an excuse also, man, to go ahead and do some harm to black folks. Stay your ass up out of these Latin American countries. The same thing that we had years ago where black people was going to Dominican Republic and getting the dog beat out of them. Talking about that, well, we thought they was Haitian and this and that. Wherever a black person goes to Latin America, they must have a serious hard-on for Haitians. Every time a black person goes to one of these Latin American countries and stuff like that, the main excuse they can do for bringing violence or killing them or beating the shit out of them is talk about we thought they was a Haitian. That shows you exactly what kind of respect they have for Haitians, and that shows the respect they have for black people. Do not travel to these places. The United States is giving you an advisory. They're talking about this one particular area. I'm telling you, do not go there. Do not spend your money. Do not waste a plane ticket. Do not waste a hotel, anything else going to these countries. You're not welcome there. You are looked at as an outsider and as a threat. Now, this is Latin America. People act like racism doesn't exist in Latin America and it's only a United States thing. No, nonsense. Latin America was also a slave colony as well, too. They are anti-black and they have a lot of hatred for black people in these areas right here. They think you're lower than dirt. And now they have the perfect excuse talking about they think you're a Haitian and this and that or whatever. So it's okay to beat the shit out of Haitians and kill Haitians. That's an excuse. That's a cop-out. You are not safe in these places. You're not protected. You do not need to be there. You do not need to spend your hard-earned money going to these places. Also, the media is doing everything they can to dig up information on these black folks that went there. Only in America can they go ahead and take people that's got killed and make the actual victims into criminals. They go ahead and try to dig up any and everything they can about the woman, about the man, or the this and that or whatever, talking about the kids and neglected and all this other kind of stuff I'm hearing. Do not take yourself to these places. And once again, like I say, it doesn't take much for the media to go ahead and spin things and make a person, people that were killed, people that were attacked, kidnapped, abducted, in a foreign nation and making them into the actual villains, making them into the actual enemy. So it doesn't take long for the United States government and their media piece propaganda to go ahead and start pushing this stuff out there. It's just like anytime there's something in the criminal justice system that goes on, and you have a black person gets killed, they want to go ahead and go all the way back to when they was a juvenile and this and that and find whatever dirt they can find on them and vilify them. And make it and giving a reason why these people got the treatment that they got. Do not go to these places. Do not trust it. You can't trust the law enforcement is bought and paid there. They're not going to do anything. $50,000 reward. Like I said, somebody in the cartel actually handed over one of their men. I guess they felt that was even bad for business. Like, let's go ahead and let's turn this one over. Somebody that was expendable. It had to be somebody that was expendable, somebody that was on the lower part of the ladder. They went ahead and they gave them up. Say, oh, okay, well, yeah, we can't do this. It's bad for business, and we just gonna start killing tourists and stuff like that for no reason. You know, that's gonna affect the overall economy. So let's go ahead and give this person up right here and make it look like we're at least trying to help the situation out as much as possible. I saw Bobo was trying to come up here, but I guess he must have got kicked down as well too. So any of our people that want to come up here too, feel free. Now, Don, I know you was did you have something, Don, that you wanted to add as well too while you're up here? And Black Native was up here too. We lost her as well.
We're Black Native back. Bring her up.
Yeah, Black Native, she must have had some connection issues, so.
Okay, but what you were saying was 100% correct. And sometimes, I'm sorry, bro, you be on 100% like 99.9% of the time. That's why people fuck with you. So you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I just say keep up what you're doing, and to anybody in this room, yeah, put your money where your mouth is. Don't let this brother talk for you, and then you know what I'm saying. You ain't helping this brother out. You be like, hey yo, no, this dude is doing God's work. He's doing it. This, if somebody got that gift, let them have that gift. This is our brother's gift, doing this journalistic stuff that I didn't even know about. Sometimes he be dropping jewels on it. I'm like, damn, wait, I didn't even know about this. Let me go ahead and Google this, look it up. Oh, this it happened last week. How did this dude know about it? You be doing that stuff. That's what Toter do. You know what I mean? So if you can drop down and not drop down, but if you can, you know what I'm saying, put some money in my homeboy's books for refer, you know, the talk. Let this brother have this, you know what I mean? So he can still do what he does every single week. Bring in the best news stories that we need to hear. Stuff that's going to go viral in about 2 months. He dropped this story like about the kidnap people. He dropped this story a little bit ago. I was like, oh, okay. And I scrolled past it, but it was still there. Yeah. I can screenshot it. You know what it is, brother. You know I ain't lying though. That's the thing. I'm not lying about like, hey yo, he's not yellow journalist. He's actually telling something. He's actually letting us know, like, hey yo, people are actually working out there for us.
I definitely appreciate that, Don. Thank you for that. Thank you for that shout out. I definitely appreciate that. And definitely, Don, if you got something else you want to contribute, go ahead and raise your hand up and we will definitely get to you. And y'all, we're going to be discussing, like I say, we want to go in depth on both of the topics that we covered so far. We want to talk about this major nursing fraud scheme because, like I say, you have the actual, the shade room. The shade room is sitting up here saying that they're feeling that a lot of this is lies. The shade room is feeling that, and maybe not so much lies, but the shade room is feeling that the black immigrants are the one that are really being hurt by this. That their names are the ones being dragged, and it's not fair to them that people are making this up. And so you have that aspect of this story as well that's going on too in this fraudulent scheme that's going on. That you have the shade room and you have a bunch of black immigrants saying that, hey, this is not true. You know, y'all are lying on us. Y'all are sitting up here and you're throwing salt on our name. You're hurting the game and whatnot. And you're sitting up here, and I don't know if they believe it might be jealousy or it's just something just to undermine the efforts of their hard work. But you have black immigrants sitting up here saying that, hey, this is not true. And we're the ones that's bearing all of the brunt of this, and it's unfair what you guys are doing. So, and of course, we know that a major story going on, like we just touched up on the actual Mexico, the kidnapping that took place in Mexico. Like I said, Latin America for the past 10 years or so has not been a place. It's been a little shop of horrors for a lot of black folks. And I'm talking about Latin America, and I'm including Caribbean, and I'm including Central and Latin America. I'm including Mexico, and I'm including all of those countries as well, too. Not just Dominican Republic, but I'm including Mexico and all of them. You have to be careful when you go to these places. There's a big anti-black sentiment in these places. It's not safe, and you have to be, if you're going to go there, you're going to have to stay alert. I don't know exactly what to tell you because the areas that some of our people are going to, they're definitely not the places you need to be. So I would advise everybody, the United States put an advisory for, I would say miss this place altogether. Don't go to Mexico. Don't go to Panama. Don't go to Nicaragua. Definitely don't go to Dominican Republic. Stay out of these places. You know, your money might be good there, but your life is at risk. Stay out of them. Don't go there. Find some other place to vacation at. These places are not for you. These people are finally in some of these places even acknowledging the actual black population there. For years, Mexico even denied that it was that they even had slaves there. I mean, those people are totally outcast in that country. For years, they've denied the history of black Mexicans in that land. So that lets you know exactly how they feel about black people in that land. And then they got the reason for kidnapping people. Talking, they thought they was Haitians. Company, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yes, and thank you for bringing us real Newstoter to the Black community because we really need it. And thank you for letting me be up on stage and speak. I've been speaking about what's been going on in Mexico for I guess for the last week that I've been aware of this kidnapping, and I believe that the Hispanic community needs to get out, and they do need to condemn these actions that are coming from cartels and these gangs on the streets that what's it called? They immortalize these cartels and these street gangs that come from these territories. And when are we as Black Americans going to put a stop to this? You go to this country, these people do not include you into their system. They just say, oh well, sorry, you shouldn't came here. And we already seen the horrible things that they put out there on these brothers and sisters that went out there, this horrible tragedy, and they have the audacity to put out there on the news, one of them was arrested for, drug possession. These people don't like us, so, we shouldn't give them that same hospitality when they come to this country, in my opinion. And that what I'm saying is that, you shouldn't came to the United States. We shouldn't be as vicious as these people are, but we don't have to be as hospitable to these people when they come into this country, as far as I'm concerned. And then I want to speak on the nursing fraud. I think you're talking about the fake diplomas and these people's academic paperwork being fraudulent. We already know that this is true in these countries such as Mexico that we have a lot of problems with. These people do sell fake documents. They sell probably any fraudulent document that you can think of. How many times for us who've been around for a while, we've already seen people pulled into federal courts over saying that the doctor's in the not. Right? So, I don't want to pull the wool over anybody's skin or, put on a tinfoil hat, but that is a true reality. China is one of these countries that also do that, producing fake documents for people to come over here and do the same thing they do it in many countries. So let's not play ignorant like, this isn't a thing.
All right, company. And let me say this part too, for any sisters or any brothers even that's looking to go and get cosmetic surgery, if you're going to get the cosmetic surgery, stay in America and get it. It's no point of going to these third world the countries and talk about having somebody perform a surgery on your body. Don't go and travel hundreds of miles, possibly even 1,000 miles to go ahead and get a procedure by somebody you know nothing about. If you're going to go ahead and have a cosmetic surgery, at least get somebody that's licensed in the United States of America, at least a place where you have your family. If an emergency happens, they can go ahead and they can get to you quicker. They don't have to worry about dealing with foreign people and stuff like that, foreign doctors and police and everything else, dignitaries. Go ahead. If you have to have a cosmetic surgery, whether that's a BBL or tummy tuck or whatever it is, go ahead and have it in America. It makes no sense going to these places here and you don't know anything whatsoever about the quality of care that you're going to get. At least in America, if something happens, you can hit somebody with a malpractice suit. Don't go to these countries and you're at the mercy of these people here. If you have to have the cosmetic surgery, stay where you live at. Stay here in the United States of America. Why am I going to go to Nicaragua or Mexico or the Dominican Republic and go to the same places? These people are trying to leave their countries and come here to America so they can go ahead and enjoy what's over here. Do not go to these places. If you have to have it, stay here in America, please. Original, how you doing tonight, bro?
Doing great, man. Peace, Black Power and lineage-based reparations. Let me ask you this, because I had heard someone say that the Shade Room is run by immigrants, right?
Yes.
That's what people say.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I heard. So I already when you said they were doing an investigative.
Yeah, it's a lady from Nigeria that owns the Shade Room, bro.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I know.
And Media Takeout owned by a dude from Ghana, I think.
Okay, because I had heard they do a lot of pejorative things regarding Black America. That's why I was asking that question. So that showed exactly why the Shade Room would be, defending these immigrants. You see, and because I heard about that these people were getting these fake diplomas and stuff like that, and but the issue is this: if your diploma is not fake, you should be able to pass a license examination at any point. If they gave it to you tomorrow, you should be able to pass if your diploma is legitimate. So I just want to throw that out there, and I don't doubt it because see, as they keep saying, there is a shortage of nurses, and some of these people would do anything to get to fill those spots. So so I just want to throw that out there. So that's something that has to be looked at as well. But see, the main one I want to comment on is this: what happened in Mexico with our people. Now you had the Daily Mail. Oh man, they got stuff out there now saying the people were dealing drugs and everything else. They had it's like they don't dig up on white folks like this, and this is why we have to remind these people when stuff go down that that's why if something went down around me and a reporter came to me, I'm like, no, get out of my face, But see, the thing in Mexico though is that I think this was around like 2013 or so, around in that I think around 2013. Now let's not forget, Malcolm X's grandson was murdered in Mexico. It was said that he was down there helping a friend or something, but he had an issue with his bar tab. And so a commotion ensued or whatever, and they killed him. They killed him. And not only that, see, here's the issue now. Now, subsequently after Malcolm X's grandson was killed, another article came out. There was some gay Black college students who went down to Mexico for spring break, and they had the same issue with the bar tab. I think one or two, I know at least one, maybe two of them was killed, and the other ones had to run and hide and run for their life, trying to get the hell about the joint. You see, so it doesn't matter whether you are heterosexual or homosexual. These damn racists hate Black folks. So, like Newstoter said, stay your ass up out the joint, and you don't have to deal with that. And then it was some friends of my mother. They had taken a vacation years ago to Mexico, and they was telling my mother about the racism that they experienced in Mexico. These people are not Black folks' friends. And I remember when I lived in California, there was a Black-owned radio station in KACE. And so what was happening during that time is that, unfortunately, a lot of these Black radio stations, they was hiring these white marketing firms to do their marketing. And they marketed them right into the ground, prepping them for sale. And so some Spanish-speaking people bought it. Oh, man, they was going around the office high-fiving each other saying, oh, yeah, we took that. The Spanish-speaking people are not Black folks' friends. Let's just be clear about that. And I've mentioned this before, but there is a website. It's called ForgottenLatinoHistory.blogspot.com. They are also on Twitter. You can follow them on Twitter as well. And this guy, his name is Felix. What the hell is Felix's name? His name is Felix Tejerina or something like that. But anyway, he was like the president of LULAC in the 1950s and 60s. And he said, let the Negro fight his own battle. His problems are not mine. I don't want to ally with him. This is what these people, this is what they think about us. Then there was another one, his name is Hector Garcia. He said, we are not and have never been, he's a part of that LULAC too. We are not and never have been a civil rights organization. Personally, I hate the word, you know, and they all preference this stuff on them being white. But they do not want to ally with black people. So I keep telling people that these people are not your friend. And there was one, where was that? There was one whereby this was in 1950. There were some black people had moved into this community, and these Mexicans bombed their house because they was allying with the white folks, and they bombed the people that bought their they called it their dream house, and they bombed them. They blew the house up. So these people, and you can find all of this what I'm sharing with you, it can be found on their website, forgottenlatinohistory.blogspot.com. And this what I'm sharing with you, it came from the year 2018. So it goes from 2018 all the way up to 2023, where you can see exactly what these people think of black folks. And so I just want people to understand that, see, when you hear this stuff about this black and brown coalition, that don't exist. And some of this stuff is based out of this book. It's called Fighting Their Own Battle. You know, it documents as to what was going on in Texas and other places where the Spanish-speaking people live, because they pride themselves on being able to trace their lineage back to Spain. But the Spaniards don't want them, you know, for whatever reason, they don't want them. And so I just want people to understand, because I know this person, he's a courier that delivered to my job. So he and his wife, they went to the Dominican Republic several years ago. And he's a smoker. He wanted some cigarettes. So he gets on the back of this guy's little scooter, moped or whatever it was, and the guy taking him, he don't know where he is, and so the guy started trying to get him to get with this woman. He said, "No, he's like, whoa, tell that story. I need to hear this.
Hold on, Don. I told you, don't come off that mic now. Let Original go ahead, man. Go ahead, Original.
All right. Yeah, so he goes, and the guy's supposed to be taking him to get some cigarettes, but he takes him to a place where he's trying to get him to get with his woman. He said, look, I don't need that. I got a woman back in my hotel room. And then he said, look, you need to take me back right now. So luckily, you know, he took him back. And when he saw his wife, he said, oh, yeah, she is nice, you know. I said, man, don't you know you have to you getting on the back of somebody's damn motorbike or whatever, and you don't know what the hell they taking you. I said, man, I said, hell, I would have whooped your ass myself, you know. And your wife would have been waiting on you. She didn't know what was going on. And but he said, I said, man, and I told him, I said, man, a lot of black people been getting ripped off and killed and beat up in the Dominican Republic. So if you go somewhere like that, stay your ass on the resort. Well, hell, I wouldn't even go to the resort, because I would go as much as say that my mother's friends that went to Mexico, more than likely they was on a resort, but they were still treated inhumanely because of the racism that these people have for us. You see, that's just like Fat Nasty Joe trying to say that hip hop was created 50% by them and 50%. Show me where hip hop origins is in Puerto Rico, okay? Because even I worked with this white Puerto Rican lady years ago, and everybody knows, because even she said, well, you know, y'all created the rock and roll and this, that, and what. I said, oh yeah, I know. But she shared with me, because this sister that worked with them, she was a jazz aficionado from New York. She was like, Miss Steven was like 70-something years old. And somehow she heard that I gave somebody a jazz CD. She said, and I shared some Nina Simone and some other stuff, Wayne Shorter and stuff to her. And she's like a real jazz aficionado. But I'm telling you, and she said, well, the white Puerto Rican lady said, well, y'all created all of that stuff. See, everybody knows this stuff, but see, now they're trying to create a culture. They're still in a culture that doesn't belong to them, because they feel that's the disrespect that they have for black folks. They feel that nobody's going to say anything, and that's why I'm happy that Tyreek is doing what he's doing, because he's putting the content, the truth out there, and they can't fight the truth.
I want to ask you to have to remember this.
Hold on for a minute. I just want to share that, because there may be some people in here who may think that they can trust these Spanish-speaking people. No, they cannot be trusted. And I want everyone, as many of you as will, go to that site, ForgottenLatinoHistory.blogspot.com. Follow them on Twitter, and you can get other updates that he or whoever created this will be sending it out, so you can see exactly what these people think of you. Because, and like you said, Newstoter, this is all throughout what they call Latin America. And I've even spoken to some people who are from some of these Latin American countries, and they will tell you how these white Spanish-speaking people don't like black folks. So, listen, heed to call, people. Do not travel to Latin American countries, and I'll land with that.
All right, appreciate.
I can say something, Newstoter. Just give me 1 second.
Real quick, Don.
I know. But how do they have a slave narrative over there, where they have it in their language, talking exactly the way that we talk over here as Black Americans? Because I can go to the Library of Congress and hear slave narratives from them. I can hear it from my grandmother, who I can hear her voice right now. So I don't know, is there something different? Because apparently you guys don't have the slave narratives that we have. Is that correct? I'm just being asked.
I'm not sure I follow. You talk about this? Do they have a slave narrative? And
you know when we have the slave narratives in the Library of Congress, you know what I mean? It's going to be there forever until we say that it's no more. But it's there, and we can hear the way that they talk, the way that they speak, the way that they are, the way that they sing, everything that they sing. And that's just in the 1933 slave narratives. I have it since I was born, so I don't know. Do they have in Brazil? Do they have the slave narratives there?
I couldn't tell you, Don. I've never been to Latin America, so I couldn't really comment on it. I will put it this way here: they know about slavery because they took part in slavery, and in so many Latin American countries, slavery actually ended after slavery in America ended. So, I mean, they're an expert on slavery just as much as the United States of America. So I would think, I guess it depends, because Argentina's pretty much erased their whole slavery history. So it depends on the country.
Well, what I'm saying is, it sounds like if you live in Colombia, you know what I mean? Do you guys have your own slave narratives that you have in that the same way that Black Americans have our slave narratives? You know what I mean? We don't have any slave narratives over there. Let's be honest. In a country that has 8 million people, more than us, they don't have any slave narratives. Let's just be honest. I am tired of lying to you goddamn tethers. I'm sorry for cursing, but I'm tired of lying. No, you don't have any. We don't know how you talked back when you came from Angola or wherever you came from. But we know we talk like. This is us. No, being like you. They don't have any kind of. They never even came up with an invention to copy people's voices. You have a whole country where there's a goddamn parakeet.
You make an interesting point there, Don. I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna come back to that idea. We're gonna go around the room and we're gonna come back to that idea that you saying, but we're gonna come back to that. Let me move to the company and we're gonna try to get back to what you saying. The company, I see Tammy, you up here as well too. So if you want to speak, Tammy, go ahead and raise your hand. I see you up here as well too. If you want to speak, go ahead and raise your hand. So we're gonna go ahead and try to get to some of the speakers. But Don, hold that thought. We're gonna get back to you as well too. Matter of fact, company, go ahead and I'm gonna get to Here I Am. Tammy, I'm glad to see you up here as well too, because I want to hear your thought on the Mexico kidnapping as well as the actual the nurse. And this is basically like some kind of nurse Ponzi scheme. I like to know who's actually behind this. I mean, you talk about 7,600 fake diplomas and certificates and everything else being shelled out for $15,000 a pop. I want to know exactly, and I will say this much right here. The Haitians, the Haitians or immigrants or whoever saying that they're being framed, I would like to know who actually came up with this here, because I have my doubts, and I could be wrong. I have my doubts whether it's a black person or not that came up with this, and I think that they, now to my knowledge, I know they did say, well, they did. I read somewhere they was trying to say that it may have been masterminded by somebody. I don't know if they tried to say somebody from Liberia or they were trying to say potentially a Haitian person or whatever, but when I started thinking about Ponzi schemes and stuff like that too, a lot of times my mind goes to mainstream America and their history of forming this kind of things as well too. But we know there's some in the diaspora that also, and I don't want to name any nations, are pretty good at coming up with these type of scams as well too. So I'm not going to name a nation who I know is good for coming up with these type of scams, because I don't want to point the finger without any proof. But it's kind of interesting to see when you got almost 8,000 people and they paying $15,000 a pop. This is masterminded by somebody else too. So I want to know exactly who came up with this. We're gonna get the U company, then we're gonna get the Here I Am. My girl Black Native kept trying to get up here, but she must kept having some issues. So Black Native, if you can hear me, if you can, try to come back up here, sweetie. If not, check us out on YouTube or whatever. But I did want to hear my sister Black Native tonight, but apparently she's been having a couple times. She lost connection and probably had problems hearing and stuff. I don't know what's going on with these spaces, in particular mine. But even last night, Dana, she had some issues with her hearing and connection issues and stuff like that too. So we're gonna kick it to the company. I want to get some of my sisters up here as well too. I see some of y'all. I ain't gonna name y'all because I know some of y'all like, I don't want to come up here tonight. I don't say my name. I'm not gonna say your name, but I see some of y'all that's always up in here and great speakers. So if you guys get a chance, I want to hear you come up in here. I see some of my brothers up in here as well too. You guys come on up here. Last night it kind of took a while for the conversation to get going, but once it got going, our people started coming up here. We got a couple good topics tonight, man, and we're gonna move it around the room, and we're gonna try to get everything rolling like we always do in these spaces. Okay, company, go ahead and unmute your mic, and then I'm gonna get to He Am I.
Okay, one thing I wanted to.
Hey, company, you're a little low tonight. Can you speak up a little bit louder if possible?
Yeah, I can't hear it, bro.
Can you hear me now?
You hear you a little bit better. You're still a little bit low, but I guess that's better.
Okay. So the most egregious thing about the whole kidnapping to me is that these individuals portrayed this upon children or young adults. These people weren't grown men that are mostly on par.
Yeah, company, you are low tonight. Are you on a headset? Hold on, Don.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to drop.
Yeah, drop down and try to come up. If you want to, and it could be that you might be on the headset as well too, or something.
Can you hear me now?
You still the same. You still low. Normally I can hear you much louder, but tonight you're really low.
I had none but background noise in your
can hear him loud. I don't know what that's about.
Okay.
We can hear him, but he's low. That's what I'm saying. We can hear him, but he's low.
And you have a lot of background noise, remember?
Is that better?
Go ahead, company. I'm gonna go ahead and let you shoot it. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, they portrayed this on young adults. The cowardism. These people don't do this to a pack of, if we went out there, like say like 18, 20 of us, I don't care where it's at in Mexico and stuff like that. They probably, you wouldn't have this type of stuff going on and stuff like that. They go for, when we're vulnerable and stuff like that. So, we know for the cowards that they are. That's one point that I wanted to point out. And the racism down there. From what I've learned in life, these people that say they have Spanish descent and all the other stuff, and they can trace it back to Spain, well, it goes a little bit back further than that, because these people that came over here and did these things, they did come on Spanish ships paid by Portugal, but their descendancy is of Portuguese Jews and stuff like that, mostly. So these people that called themselves Hispanics, some of them might have ancestry that goes back to the Spanish Empire when the Moors were walking around and all the other stuff. But most of that racism, we already know the Portuguese was responsible for all the racism. You could look at like Cuba and all these places, Dominican Republic and all this other stuff. That's all named after cities inside of Portugal. Like almost all the Hispanic territories, you go look on a map, you'll find Cuba in Portugal. Promise. But we can't be mistaken for who these people really are and why they have so much hatred for people. And then you have to take account that after World War II, you had a lot of Nazi settlements that were put out there for runaway Nazis all through South America, all through Mexico, United States, and stuff like that. I mean, for the most part, in the United States, we chased out all the Nazis, or I think we did. I mean, there might be some. I mean, there's some. But I'm just saying, there's still Nazi towns out there from people who are descendants of Nazi Germans that still keep that same ideology out there too.
All right, company, appreciate that. Let me get to he am I, and like I say, everybody else up in the actual space as well too. Please, by all means, come on up here and just share your opinions on these two topics tonight. He am I. I don't think I've ever heard you speak up in the space before. How you doing tonight?
Hey, how you doing, Newstoter? Thanks for allowing me to speak. Greetings to both co-hosts and to everybody else. I'm going to be kind of quick. As far as the kidnapping go, I don't know what the exact reasons behind that was, but I will say this. As tourists, we need to understand that's what we are, tourists, because the brother said he took off on a trip. And we need to understand that's what we are, tourists. That's why they have tourist areas. When we go into these other places that we know nothing about, we need to be very careful. Because you don't know the area, you don't know the people, and you don't know what's going on. And that should be something we use even going from state to state in our own country. We need to be very careful of these offshoot roads that we want to take. I used to have I still have a brother. He used to go to Tijuana all the time, and he got caught up because he forgot his ID or he lost it. And they were trying to keep him over there. What a lot of black folks don't know is there are black people in Mexico, well, not black people, but melanated people in Mexico. So we need to be careful about that. And as far as the other thing, this was economics. They will never stop going over there, brother, until it becomes financially feasible for them to get those procedures in America. They're going over there because they're simply cheaper. That's why they're going to get those procedures over there. As far as the massive nursing fraud, these things have been going on for hell before I was born. There's always been these certificate mills. What they need is somebody to be able to say, okay, is this official? Because I live in California. There's an area I can go and go get a whole ID if I wanted it. They stand on the corner and tell you ID all day. So either it's not being enforced to stop it, or it's making money for somebody. And that's all I had to say. Thank you.
No problem. I appreciate you coming up. And you're right. The actual procedures at the plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery that a lot of people, especially the black ones, are trying to get, it is cheap over there in these countries and stuff like that. But it's also riskier. It's riskier from the actual, people suffering infections and dying and everything else. So that's my only thing is that, hey, yeah, you may save a few dollars going over there, but it may cost you your life as well, too. And we know that it could cost you your life in terms of the actual procedures, but now it can cost you your damn life just from being in the wrong spot at the wrong place. I mean, you're getting carjacked in the middle of the day. You're getting abducted in plain daylight. Go ahead, I see you coming off your mic. Go ahead.
And they feel that the risk is worth it, brother. That's the problem. They feel the risk is worth it. And I want to tag on something too with the passport bros. Y'all better be careful too. If they think you got money, they are going to get you. It's an economic thing. It's a poor versus, oh, you got money, you in my country, I can get you opportunity, I'm going to take it. If you've ever been to the Mardi Gras in New Orleans, what do they tell you? Stay on Bourbon Street. Don't go roaming around off in the cut.
What was shit that's ever been told to me in Bourbon Street? Like, don't go over there.
Hey, Don.
I know I'm fucking up. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, come on now. I may have to. I may drop you down the lister just for a second, bro, and then I'll bring you back up. But chill, Don. I'm gonna let you get it in. All you gotta do is raise your hand, and I'll go ahead. I'll let you get it in. So I see my girl Tata's up here, real quick. And I'm in agreement with you. I guess it's gonna just take more deaths, people being killed on the street, and people actually dying on these actual operation tables for people to actually say, hey, you know what? I think I can get the BBL. The BBL is dangerous in America. Okay. The BBL is dangerous over here in America. Tummy tucks are dangerous here. So if you're going to somebody that doesn't have the qualifications, they don't have the actual staff, they don't have the actual training, they don't have, they just don't have the resources that people have over here. You're really, really, really playing with your life there. So I just think,
I agree with you, but at the same time, I want it. I can't afford it here.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm traveling.
Go ahead.
Who just said that?
She came out of nowhere.
I heard somebody say they got to use a bathroom. I'm traveling.
Yeah, no, I heard that too.
Wash your hands. You know that corona out here.
We don't hear that.
That was you, Tata?
She nasty. We don't hear that.
That's you, Tata?
It's Tammy, sorry.
Oh, So hold on, Tammy, real quick. What was the point of saying that? Like what? If you got to use a bathroom or whatever, just go use a bathroom.
Because I was leaving my phone in here and I was traveling. I'm sorry. And you was calling other people. I apologize.
Okay. Yeah. Everything ain't got to be announced, y'all. So, if you got to handle nature's business, go ahead and handle nature's business, but you ain't got to inform us and let us know. But I appreciate you, Tammy, nonetheless. Let me get it to my girl.
I'm in a white county. I'm scared.
Hey.
Hold on now. Where you at?
Okay, real quick. Let me go ahead because my girl Tata is up here. So let me go ahead and get it to Tata. Tata, how you doing tonight?
I'm in a good name, Tatas.
Good evening.
Hey, Don, I think a quick time might be in due here, Don. I'm trying not to, but I'm about to hit that trigger thing real quick, Don.
You know it's funny. I was joking.
I
mention that someone had a tummy tuck or whatever type of surgery and find out their uterus or something was gone? So if your uterus or kidneys or whatever, you don't know. So that's crazy. That's all I had to say.
I agree with you on that too, because every time you turn around and look, people, they falling off, they dying. You go to some of these places, you're in a tub full of ice, and they done opened you up and everything else, especially in these Latin countries. Man, you better be careful there. Black Native, go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's up, baby girl?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? What's up?
What's
Peace
up?
to the room. Peace, Ray and DJ. And we ain't gonna keep having you come off your mic though. So
I'm telling them, I'm at my last warning here.
Why am I like that? You know who I am.
I be like that, Don. But Don, look, we love you, Don.
I love you.
But but check it out. Did y'all discuss the fact that the cartel actually wrote an apology letter to the families? And I watched, I think it was MSNBC or NBC News, and they were hot. They was butthurt, the white media, because they actually wrote an apology letter. And it's basically, it was like, well, have you ever known a cartel to ever write an apology letter? Why did they write an apology letter to them? They murder and kill millions of thousands of people every day. I'm like, so you mad? This is what I feel. Fuck the apology, right? What you need to do, since you murdered two innocent people under the guise that you thought they were Haitians, you need to go ahead and bless that family, pay for their funerals, put money. They got the money. Put money in their children. If they have children, their families, bank accounts, possibly build something in that community. They need to pay restitution. We don't need apologies. We get that all the time from all these other white supremacists over here. So they could take that and kick rocks. Give them people money since you murdered their loved ones. That's how I feel about the whole situation. And I want to speak about the nursing scam. My mother, she just had surgery. She just got to the hospital yesterday. I was literally downstairs helping her get into bed, and I'm taking care of my mother right now. So this is why I've been off and off. She told me it was a Haitian woman that was, I guess, her nurse's aides, and my mother asked her if she could have one of the blankets so she could take it home. And this Haitian woman was like, "Oh no, you can't have that." Hospital. And then she was trying to tell my mother like she needs a walker because she had hip surgery. She was like, "You can't take that. That belongs to the hospital." I said, "Mine, she better be glad I wasn't in that role." Because I'm wondering, show me your credentials? How about that? Because see, I don't know if y'all noticed, like back in the 90s, it was like an influx of nurses coming from the Caribbeans, mostly. And I was like, where did all these people, all of a sudden, we got RNs, these people are RNs. Why are they not RNs in their own country? See, I had 3 of my aunts were RNs, and one was a physician assistant. They went to school, they went to college, they got their degrees. So they was bringing these people over here and probably not paying them less to nothing and setting them up like they really had credentials, and they didn't. So that's the problem. And I'm glad they're getting busted, and they need to be deported, to be honest with you. And I'll go ahead and land on that.
All right, thank you, Black Native, and I'm agreeing with you on that too. Like I said, this thing is almost like a Ponzi scheme, though, and I'm sure this has been going on. Like he mentioned, like this has been going on forever, but to the level that you got almost 8,000 people, and they're paying big money. You talk about $15,000. You multiply $15,000 times 7,600. Okay, that's big money there. And like I say, I just wonder who may be actually at the top of this food chain doing this. So that's my main thing. The Mexico thing as well too. I also find this intriguing right here. Mexico and Colombia and a lot of these Latin American countries are the major manufacturers, producers of drugs, of cocaine and everything else. For the fact, and I always wonder this, how would the United States respond to these nations if these were black nations and they were pumping the United States with drugs like that? If Colombia and Mexico had cartels coming back and forth to the United States of America, and they were going ahead across the border and they was bringing drugs in left and right, what would the United States as a government do? Because I'm pretty sure it'd be some kind of trade embargoes and it'd be everything else, all kind of sanctions they were hitting them with. But nonetheless, these countries are still able to survive. Mexico is right here and they're able to survive. The United States allows this stuff, and you wonder, like, if this was actually, if Mexico was 90% black, it was a black nation, and you had all of these black nations in Colombia and stuff like that producing the large amounts of cocaine and all the other drugs and stuff that they have over there now that you can come right across the border and bring it in. You can bring mules and stuff like that. How would the United States respond to them? How would the United States treat them? I've always wondered that, but I pretty much already know the answer, because it would really be a war on drugs. They would really go out of their way to go ahead and neutralize them and shut them down. But for whatever reason, they're sitting up here and they act like they can't stop the actual cartel from coming into this country and supplying everybody else and this and that or whatever. That's a load of nonsense. If they really, really want to stop the flow of drugs into this country, they could have been stopped it. But they're not interested in stopping the flow of drugs. Because you got to wonder how much of this actual dope money the government is actually getting a cut of as well, too. They won't say that, but between the actual prisons and everything else that they're building up in this country, you have to always, and I've always wondered how much of this they're actually pocketing as well, too. That's always been something that's been on my mind, because there's no way that they will let a bunch of niggas sit up here and just peddle dope into the United States like that at the level that they've been peddling in. For all if Pablo Escobar was a black man, Pablo Escobar, he would have been dead. It wouldn't have took, he would, the Medellin cartel and all that, they would have never got to the level that they got to. But because they're not black, but because they can sit up here and say that they're Latin or Hispanic or whatever, they allowed this stuff to foster. They fostered it, they allowed it to grow. And to the point now that it's out of control. So I've always wondered that the United States of America sat up here and they allowed all of these nations, they allowed these big time cartels and drug dealers to get as big as they got. Damn, Colombia, their national product was the coca leaf or whatever, the cocaine or whatever the hell it is. And they sitting up here and they just kept supplying everybody. Major reason that you had so many drugs in the inner city pumped in and did nothing to stop the flow of it. So you wonder if that was a black nation and they was up here supplying and pumping all this dope into the United States, the biggest manufacturers and producers, how would they respond to them? Mexico has really, let's be for real, Mexico and a lot of these other nations have just got a slap on the hand. They haven't really done anything to stop them. Yeah, they may put a prop up a dictator here and there, whatever, but the drugs are out of control. The drugs now are worse now than it was back in the 1980s. Black Native, I know you had your hand back up, so I'm going to let you go ahead, and then I'm going to get to HEMI, and I'm going to get to the company, and I get to you as well, too, Don. Real quick, before I get to you, Black Native, up in the Jumbotron, we have the actual Newstoter YouTube channel, as well as a newsletter. I said every time, y'all, we need y'all to go ahead and subscribe to that newsletter. It's on the right-hand side of the actual Jumbotron, guys, so go ahead and subscribe to it. Actually, it's on the, I believe it's in the, it's actually on the far left-hand side. So we have the YouTube channel as well as a newsletter. You guys, while you're listening here, you can listen and click on that and go to YouTube and still hit the actual Twitter space and subscribe just that quick. You don't have to close out your phone or anything. You can stay right here on the Twitter app, go to YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel just that quick. When you get a chance, go ahead and subscribe to the newsletter as well, too. But let's go ahead and let's get some more subscriptions. Not just one. We don't just want one person subscribing to the YouTube channel tonight while the actual Twitter space is on. We got a bunch of you guys up in here, 50 some odd people up in here. Go ahead and subscribe right now. If you enjoy the Twitter spaces, you be sure to enjoy subscribing to the YouTube channel, because we're uploading the actual Twitter spaces. There's over 100 and some odd videos on there, so if you miss anything, you can always catch up. You can go back all the way to the beginning. So go ahead right now while we have this actual Twitter space going on and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us grow. We need to have that reach so we can go ahead and reach the masses. Also, if you can, support us on Cash App. That is $Newstoter. That is $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black American-owned news curation media platform today in America. Let me say that one more time in case anybody might have missed what I was saying. Newstoter is the largest Black American-owned news media curation today in America. Please support us if you can on Cash App. That is $Newstoter. Once again, that is $Newstoter. If you do not have a Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron. Both the Venmo and the PayPal is up in the Jumbotron. For our people that's on YouTube, up in the description, you will find the Venmo, the PayPal, and the Cash App. Black Native, go ahead and unmute your mic. You there still, Black Native?
Oh yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, I'm having issues. You remember? I right with
You there, Black Native? Look like we might have lost you. You there?
You in the Matrix, love.
She might be in the Matrix.
And fam, you in the Matrix.
if it was majority of like say Haitians or say Jamaicans or whatever, you other Black folks from the islands or from a different part of the world bringing drugs over here, would be RICO. First of all, they wouldn't be able to get here that fast. They would take that boat, the boat that they bring it on, or the plane that they're bringing it on. All of them would be arrested, shipped back to their country. The boat, they would have the what you call that? The people that's out there, the police that's on the water. What do you call those people?
Coast Guard. The Coast Guard. The Coast Guard would intercept the boat. All the people, they would turn that boat right back around and push that shit right back to their country. Or if they made it over here on American soil, all of them are getting arrested and they're getting deported back. You know what I'm saying? So, they wouldn't allow it to fester. It would be RICO charges. It would be all kind of charges being thrown at these people. Look what they did to the Haitians that was living under the bridge. They cleared them out, and it was like 10,000 of them. They cleared them out within a week. They had horses up there with whips and all kind of shit going on. So we already know they're not going to allow that to happen if it was a predominantly Black nation or island or what have you, state, country, smuggling drugs over here into this country. They would stop that immediately. So yeah, they turn their eyes, they turn their heads. Some of the border patrol, some of them was getting caught for not even being legal. They had to fucking send their asses back, and they was border patrol. So this is what's going on in our country right now. It's a whole bunch of fuck shit, a whole bunch of stuff that's like people are so incompetent at this point, and people are like, frankly, they just don't care. It's all about money. You know what I'm saying? It's all about money, and that's what it boils down to.
What you said was something profound. Did you say that there are a lot of people who are from the border who do not care that they're from the border, but they allow people to come from the border? What you say? No, please repeat whatever you said. I might have messed it up.
I said that a lot of the people, it's Border Patrol agents that are now being found that's undocumented. They're not even supposed to be Border Patrol because they're illegal. So, and they're getting caught out there. And I said they wouldn't even allow. A lot of the Border Patrol is probably being paid. Come on, a lot of them are what? Mexicans? Come on, they ain't messing with the cartel. That's they people. So they letting that shit come over here. And the government, but the Border Patrol works for the United States government. So yeah, they getting paid. It's about money.
All right.
She said what she said.
Thank you, Black. Thank you, Black Native. I hope your connection stay, because I want you to go ahead and stay up. I know you a couple times you were here and you had to disconnect, and I don't know if you were having issues hearing us and stuff in the space or whatever. So I'm glad that seems like that's being straightened out real quick. So let me also give a shout out to Nubian DNA. Thank you, Nubian DNA, for your support on Cash App. It is greatly appreciated. Let me go ahead and get to because we got a new speaker up here. So because I'm gonna get to you, the company, and Don as well too. Don, I need you to stay on that mic because I'm telling you, I'm gonna be dropping you down in a second. So you my dog and all, but you got to stay on that mic. But Tammy, let me go ahead and get to you, DJ Ray. How are y'all? Y'all can y'all hear me in the space?
Yeah, you good, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna go Tammy, then we're gonna go he am I, and we're gonna go to company, then we're gonna go to Don. So hold it down 1 second for me, and let Tammy go ahead. Tammy, you got it.
Check. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. Can you hear me? Everyone can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, company, bro.
Yeah, company. It's Tammy go. It's Tammy go.
Yeah, go ahead, Todd. I got it.
So you know what? I was about to say that I didn't think it was possible or true because, nurses have to know a certain amount of clinical, knowledge. But honestly, that's what the social workers did when they switched over. Some of them wanted to switch over from being charity and resources and helping people in poverty to clinical. And that's what they did. So I think it's been going on for years. And we just don't think about it because I think a certain amount of us are, maybe 99% of us in here are honest people. So when you think about doing something like that, you're like, who would do that? Who would risk? I mean, that's healthcare. But most of them, if you're a certified nursing assistant, you help, and I don't think you do anything too clinical, but LPNs and RNs, they do give medication and shots, and that is a serious situation. I'm wondering how many doctors are fraudulent because some of them don't know the head from the egg. And then with the Mexico kidnapping, people really get on my nerves. They gotta go dig and stuff. I would have too, but I wouldn't have brought it out because it don't make no sense. I just wanted to make sure that she was okay. But for them to let that information go is egregious, and they're gonna do it through a black person because they want to know what she was doing. How she, the first thing they probably said was, "How can she afford it?" That's the first thing they said. Like, we broke. We ain't the one on welfare and food stamps, honey. If we need to be, we will. But we not the one doing it. We not the one defrauding the government of $400 billion. Okay? White people are stealing. They steal every day. They steal in every way. And they try to put it on us. And we need to stop it. They do it so much, overwhelmingly. $400 billion? Who steals? I mean, how does that go missing all of a sudden? It's these legislators. It's these business owners. It's these government, states. We got to do something about that because I'm not going to be disrespected, just outright anymore without saying something. Well, I might get disrespected, but you're going to hear from me because I get equal protection under the law in this country. I pay taxes in this country. You will not discriminate and minimize in my face without getting something in return, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm tired of it. It ends. It ended on Friday. Well, whatever day.
All right, Tammy, that's it for you?
Yes, I'm looking up one more thing about the fraudulent, schemes.
Okay. Well, then we're going to move it around. We'll come back to you. Let me go ahead and get the he am I. What's going on again?
Thank you, brother. I just wanted to say that I don't know who it was. I know that the president's name of Mexico at the time was Vicente Fox, but I don't recall who he was talking to. I don't know if it was Ronald Reagan or George Bush when they asked him about the problem, the drug problem between America and Mexico. His response was, Mexico does not have a drug problem. America has a drug problem. Mexico does not have addicts. America has addicts. A lot of people, I'm sure they should know at this point in time, how all of the drugs came to be, especially during the crack epidemic with the CIA, bringing these drugs into the country, giving it to black neighborhoods, and allowing it to flourish. Also, this is not a company or a situation where people are bringing pounds of cocaine on their back. They're not bringing it in little boats. They're bringing it in ships. Corporations own those ships. 600 metric tons of it. This is not a small operation, and it cannot be done without government assistance. And I'll land my plane, brother.
All right, appreciate that, bro. Let me go ahead and get to the company. Again, the company, go ahead. I hope the volume is a little bit louder this time for you, company, but go ahead.
Okay. I mean, I think that, I agree with everything that everybody said, for the most part. So far in this room, we'll see how this goes if it continues to be a good night tonight. But I think that, we're also looking at the fact that, these people that see the problem and they know the problem and they probably want to do something about the problem. They're too scared to do something about the problem. They'd rather try to be friends with the problem than, trying to do the right thing. And we already know these white people are not the same white supremacists from back in the day. These cartel members are not what's his name? Anyways, ain't no mob boss or anything else like that. These are just rogue, cartels that, trying to make names for themselves. We already know that, these people aren't the El Chapos of the time and stuff like that. These people are cowards and stuff like that. And we need to stop taking the history of the past and looking at that and be fearful of it and attacking the problem today. Like, I think that, we have more than enough instruments to deal with the situation. It's just that do people have the backbone and the spine and the guts to do what is necessary to fix the problem? People need to stop being cowards and stop being scared of people that come up to be at most like 5'4". You feel it's like, almost fucking fighting Chinese people and stuff like that. Yeah, they may have artillery and stuff like that, but wait till this bureau comes and its bureaucracy and its agents and stuff. Because one thing I can tell you, there's a lot of people out there that I know that are just waiting to find something to do, because they've been trained to be those type of people that apparently most people can't be.
All right, thank you, company. Don, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go and come on up here. Don, what you got to say? You there, Don? Don't tell me you done got quiet now. Oh, Lord.
I didn't want to laugh. I didn't want to be I'm not going to do anything. I'm not
no coward. I already know he ain't one of them people.
I'll get out that. I'll get out that.
What's necessary that needs to be done. But we would like to give him the opportunity and the job to do those things that he's good at.
Okay, and number one, is you guys have understand that to get this black media out, we have to actually do this. We have to actually put our money where our mouth is. This is not a game. If you guys are playing, just keep on playing and be playing over there. Don't play with this over here. We don't want you over here. So if you have $5, $10, even $20 a dollar, please just give a donation to my homeboy Newstoter. You know what I mean? Because he's doing He's doing God's work right now. And if you are playing with this one, then play. But don't play with us, because we ain't playing with you. Now, so you know that was funny.
Yeah, it cracked me up, Don.
All right, on real talk, I agree with what you're saying, brother. The last brother who was talking, like, I get what you were saying. But if you didn't understand that we have made our own path, this is not a path that can be walked on by anybody else. This is us. This cannot be walked on by anybody else. I cannot go to walk in Africa and be like, yo, I'm going upon my lioness path. No, that's not my lioness. Harriet Tubman is my lioness. We have names. We know exactly who we are. And at least we did it.
All right,
We're not playing around. No, bro. I'm so tired of. Yeah, damn it. I'm so tired of these tethers coming in and saying, like, we supposed to be this way. We're not your way. We've had to do everything necessary to get our job done, and we did it right in front of your face. While the whole world laughs at Africa, the whole world laughs at Africa. They laugh at them. They don't laugh at Black America. They one time. They might say, we're doing whatever we need to do. They never said they laughed at us as a continent. Name one time they said that, you know what, Africa, but Black America is doing worse. No, negative. We've never been negative than Black America. We've never been the way that Africa has been.
Appreciate that, Don. Thank you, my
weakness is that we're telling you this. That's our weakness, is telling you this, like, hey, yo, y'all weak over there. We need to tighten it up. And they still want to be crybabies. Like, oh, we don't know what to do without this white man. We don't know how to do if we can't speak French. You know how much Black Americans want to do to speak our own language that nobody knew. We'll take this whole country over in a week. And we seriously did. And we always did. I've never met a weak person. No, bro. I've never met a weak person like the way that I've met Africans who have told me that from the diaspora. I've sat there in their countries and I watched them eat that nasty ass food. Like, did you really put the whole hand in your mouth? You slopping it up with your hand? You know we got forks. There's a thing called iron that we can chop down and make it into something that we can pick it up.
real talk, Don. I appreciate that. Let me
I'm sorry.
Oh no, you good. Let me. I see my girl Rella's up in here, so let me go ahead and get the Rella. I see Mr. Engaging down in the listening section. I'm gonna kick it to you, Rella, real quick, but I want to read what Mr. Engaging said in the comment. He says he left a couple comments. I'm gonna read them. He says, "Have the nation of Mexico declared war on the Negro Americans? First they invade us, now they kidnap us. Where's the government assistance in this matter? And this is why we need reparations." Then Mr. Engaging also wrote, "The nursing fraud was used to displace Negro nurses and doctors to the point we graduated at low numbers, including from HBCUs. We need to be calling ICE renovated because this is a national health risk. This is an extension to medical apartheid. So, Mr. Engaging is always pretty outspoken. So, Mr. Engaging, I appreciate you leaving some comments there. If you get a chance, and I know you may be busy at nighttime or whatever, you get a chance, you want to come up here and speak as well, come on up here. As always, you're welcome to come up here and speak. And I see, like I say, my girl Rella's up in here, so I know Rella. This should be very interesting. Rella, I'm definitely interested to hear what you got to say about these two topics. If you just want to cover one topic, that's fine as well too. So, shout out to Rella. What's going on tonight, Rella?
Hey, Newstoter. Hey, Ray and DJ. I'm doing okay. Actually, no, I'm not feeling too good, but I just been listening.
No, I hope you feel better.
Thanks, guys. Most of everything that everyone said was spot on. I think for the most part, I think we all have a sense of how to keep our heads on a swivel. The sad part is that I don't want to focus on the woman who was going over there for a medical procedure so much so to say it's really sad that a medical apartheid here in the United States impacts us so much so that even in cosmetic surgery, Black women, whether you are, just going in for cosmetic surgery or you're actually going in for, serious illness or surgery, a lot of the immigrant doctors that you will find don't have great bedside manner. I found that to be the case when my mother passed away. And like I said, the neurologist who was Asian, as well as the white doctor who did not treat my mom on day one when she landed into the hospital. And I do think that the nurses do play a part in that. And if you notice, it's not just African nurses or people from melanated immigrants; it's immigrants in general. And I think for the nursing situation that they need to take a look at all of them, because some of the nurses go on to end up being doctors, and I believe PhD nurses, where they actually get ranked, almost at the level of a doctor or physician. So it's a problem. It's a huge, huge problem, and it does displace Americans from trying to even get into the nursing field, especially if you have people who are not of our nationality, and they at some point can make it hard for you, or encouraging people not to apply or attend, or just not allowing people into the programs who actually go the right route, not necessarily the way that they are going, which is actually illegal. And I really think the government needs to do more crackdowns. They need to check everybody. Hell, they probably need to check some of these doctors' credentials as well. When it comes to the Mexico kidnapping, circling back around to that, I think that if the government is serious about cracking down on the cartel, I wouldn't mind it, because I would actually push them to task to say I want to see them crack down on people that they actually utilize to funnel drugs into the country. Because if you look at the officers that went looking for the 4 Americans, which they found them pretty quickly, they almost automatically knew where they were. And the people who in the video who shot up the van, they were dressed just like the Mexican police officers. They had the same tactical vests on, and they looked just like them. They were dressed just like them. In the video, you can see it. I'm thinking to myself, they put out a letter and a statement. Like, come on now, the cartel is apologizing to America. No, they're apologizing because they don't want America to go in there and invade and actually start going ahead and actually invading Mexico, because they're trying to do invasion here. They don't want it the other way around. The other thing is we trade. Apparently, Mexico is like our number 2 trading country. We need to cut trading with them.
We need to cut trading, and I say this all the time. Manufacturing needs to come back home to our shores. We need to be manufacturing and producing our own materials, our own products, so that we can actually service our community, and that we trade out, not the other way around. Because we are getting people who we're getting stuff from countries that don't test any of their products. They're using all types of poison and all type of different types of poisons and materials that don't blend together. If you get caught in the sun with certain things, it can be toxic to you and to your skin. I mean, they have no regulations. Is what I'm saying. And so at the end of the day, manufacturing needs to come back to the United States. We need to be the manufacturers. And we need to house the plants definitely in Black communities where we can employ our own people and we can actually build our own infrastructure. Mexico should be this should be like it should be it. Like, it should be it. We should not be doing no more business with Mexico, and there should be hard consequences for killing Americans in Mexico. Like, to me, if that was anywhere else, if that was any other country, and they would have killed someone, America would have been like, okay, it's a wrap. We going to war. We sending our people in. We sending our people to go get them people. And I saw a picture of them like that. They were like 4, I think, Mexican guys. They said that they were the cartel that shot at the van. They don't look like the 2 guys in the video, because one of the guys was a heavyset dude. So I don't want 4 Mexican random guys in a letter. I don't want an apology. You took 2 lives and wounded 1, and they'll never be the same. That family will never be the same. Never. And yes, was it ignorant of them to go and not check to see, if wherever they were traveling to was on, one of the threat level list? Yeah, because most people who travel or just starting to travel or going places, they're not thinking about threat levels and is this on the, do not travel list on the FBI website. That's another thing that we got to get conscious of. If you're going to be leaving outside of the country, check and make sure it is a safe place for you to go. And start doing traveling in the United States. Like, start going to different places and finding out what's in your own country before you start traveling outside the United States. I mean, if you have to, that's your business, you've grown. But the way that these people were taken out and was pretty much ambushed and gunned down, I'm sorry. There has to be steep consequences. Their trade needs to be either cut back or we need to stop it altogether. That's how I feel about that. And at the end of the day, we have something else that we should be concerned about when it comes to now, where our products are coming from and who's trading with our country, as well as how they impact our country. And I had already said it, like at this point, the government should have issued a 72-hour warning for Mexicans in the country to be sent back after that. You killing Americans? I was with it. Look, they did it during 9/11. During 9/11, they was like, you had so many hours or so many days or whatever to get out, right? Once 9/11 hit, why is it that we're so laxed when it comes to harms that happen to us? No, like I wouldn't take that. No, I would not take that. I'm sorry. If I was president or if I was part of the Joint Chiefs of Staff or Homeland Security, something, I would have been like, they got to get out in 72 hours. They got 72 hours to pack their shit, or we sending people to come get you.
Oh yeah, really? You got me on that. Yeah, you got me on that. Whenever you said that you got 72 hours.
That's what I love to hear. That was
Oh man. Oh, you.
Baby girl, we glad that was recorded.
Oh, you got me on that one, Rella. Like that's why I love to hear Rella come up here. Like she gonna say some stuff. I'm like, please, them Mexicans like no homes. We not going anywhere. We likes it right here. like please, they ain't even trying to hear that, man. Shout out to my man Black Pressure too for his contribution on Cash App, man. I gotta read. I'm gonna get to you, Black Pressure, and I'm gonna get to you, Tammy. I gotta read my man Nightfall a couple comments he left over here real quick on he left over here on YouTube. When you was talking, Rella, you was talking about the in terms of the medical apartheid. He said it doesn't help when our elementary schools do not prepare our children as they should to move into the health field. He also said, how can a high school grad be prepared to go into the health field when they're relegated to a 4th and 5th grade, 6th grade reading level? He also wrote this as well. So I'm hitting a couple of his comments up. So shout out to Nightfall. Actually, the violence that happened to these black folks happens every day in Mexico. We just don't hear about it because lamestream media doesn't cover it. And he also wrote this. Let me get in. And no offense, but if that ish is what Mexicans are seeking asylum from and jumping the border, hold your own nuts and go back there and fight like we have. The final thing he had was keep your trash over there. So he was going in a little bit right there. So I had to go ahead and read my man comments real quick. And Rella, you got me with that one. So you got me with that one. Like, oh man, I'm glad you came up tonight because you really got me with that little statement there. Go ahead, Black Pressure. How you doing tonight, man? What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Black fam? I think the Miss Disruptor was before me.
I was trying to get to you though because you hadn't had a chance to speak. So yeah.
Oh, no, I go. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So, what's up, Black fam? What's up, News? Ray DJ. So, I'm gonna say this.
Oh, you don't put nobody up here.
Really, you know, you're my Twitter fiance. I've been trying to keep that to myself. You know what I'm saying? So check this out, News. I'm gonna say this. I respect everybody in the space. You know, we always come together in great conversations. But I'm gonna say this. Do we really believe that a drug cartel wrote a letter of apology? I'm gonna ask that. I want to.
I don't. I don't.
Let me say it like this. You probably have. I'm just gonna start with the advent of modern social media. So we can go back at least 15 years, and I've seen this myself. You're talking about organizations that have released footage of themselves decapitating living human beings. People that you're talking about mass shootings in America, it pales in comparison to what the drug cartels have done to totally innocent people that had nothing to do with anything, just to instill fear in certain areas that they quote unquote control. These people have engaged in bombings to kill one person, and they'll blow up a store, they'll blow up a bus, a school, just to eliminate one person. Out of all the black people in this room, do we really believe those people wrote a letter of apology? I don't even want to answer. Just answer to yourself. It's because that'll start another conversation. That's another conversation for another time. But I'll say this too, for all of us in here saying, you know, where's the American government? Once again, the American government, an organization that has openly admitted to engaging in assassinations, domestic and international. We all know about them admitting to this. Now, it was years later, admitting to working with the drug cartels and to flood black communities with narcotics. Do we really think the American government gives two pieces of damn about 4 black people that got victimized? I think 2 got killed in another country. Let's stop this. The American government is the drug cartels. The American government cares nothing about black people. The American government will never care anything about black people. And the drug cartels are exactly what they are. They are a criminal organization. In fact,
for a while, one of my favorite shows was the y'all help me out, the show on Netflix. It talked about all the big time narco terrorists. I say that again.
You talking Breaking Bad?
The Wire.
No, nigga, it's called
No, I'm talking about like Pablo Escobar and all that.
Oh, okay.
Pablo, it go for Willis.
Yeah. In fact, to bring it home,
cartel.
to bring it home, it was in a couple of the Hidden Colors where Tariq covered it, where the U.S. government or the CIA openly admitted to working with the drug cartels, not only to assassinate people, but to flood black communities with drugs. We need to stop this stuff about what is the government going to help and where is the government? They're never going to help us. And I'll land my plane there.
Hell, the government, and you had what was it? Great Britain had the damn what was it, the boxer oh shit, what was that in history? You had the boxer thing with what you had with China, and was it Great Britain where they had them strung out on opium, basically, whatever, making them take opium as well too. So please, all of them are all into this stuff together, man. And you're right.
News is moving the goalpost ever so slightly. You heard, you know about the dude, that dude named Mao, when he went to those people and say, look, I know these white folks put you on drugs.
Boxer Rebellion. Thank you, Knight. Yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
And he said, look, you can't have a successful country with a bunch of heroin addicts. He told y'all got 6 months to get off this shit. He came back. All the people that were still addicted, he lined them up. He blew their brains out, and I'll land my plane there.
Yeah, so that's my thing right here. Like, the Western world has always believed in keeping people either drunk or keeping them strung out or whatever. So the United States, they don't have an issue with this because, like I say, they're making some money off of this as well too. So don't let anybody fool you. Like, they making some money off of this drug stuff. They give a damn about how many of their own people actually on these drugs, because for one, they never intended for their actual people to get on it. They thought it was going to happen to everybody else. That's why you see now they're in such a state of emergency with the opioid crisis and this and that. They didn't give a damn about the black folks in the 80s addicted to crack and whatnot. Didn't give a damn about the people in the late 60s and 70s that was strung out on heroin. But now it's like, oh my God, like, oh, look at everything that's going on in the country now. We have such an opioid crisis, and our young people are suffering so bad, and we have to do something, and it's just not right. It's just not fair. Oh my God, we have to do something. These people are in such internal pain. What are we going to do? How are we going to help them? We just can't lose a generation of these good young folks back in the 80s, 90s. Oh, throw them niggas in prison. Lock them up. Well, why don't you try to get? No, they don't need no help. Lock them up. Put them in jail. They okay. They're all right. They crackheads anyway. Let them go ahead and let them incarcerate them. That's the only thing they know anyways. Put them up in a damn cell. They don't need. Well, why don't you try to get them some help and try to? No, they don't need no help, no reform. Throw them in one of those 8x11 cells all day, and then that's the only thing these niggas need. Should have left the crack alone.
One more thing really quick, and I apologize. I just thought about it. If you want to see probably the best depiction, like real life depiction of the relationship between America and the drug cartels, one of my favorite movies of all time, go check out this movie called Sicario. It does the best job I've ever seen exposing their relationship between the United States and the drug cartels. It's part 1 and 2, but check out part 1 first, and it does a great job exposing that relationship.
Hey, didn't they make a part 3 of that too?
Oh, the Narcos?
I got both of them. I just wanted to.
Yes, they did. They made a part 3.
I never saw it because if it was a 3, I'd be the first one in line to see it.
When he was with the little Muslim girl who got kidnapped by she was on the street.
Yeah, that was 2. That was 2. When the drug cartel, when they kidnapped the government kidnapped the drug cartel leader's daughter to try to get him out of hiding. That was 2.
But if you read the book, it was like that was like 4, 5.
Yeah, now I'll say the second one was still better than the first one. But go ahead.
Wait, hold on now.
Hey, real quick. real quick, let me give a real quick. I got to give a shout out to my girl Tony, and I got to give a shout out to the Jawi as well too for their contribution on Cash App. So I got to go ahead and give my people a shout out.
Hey DJ, one of the coldest scenes ever in movie history. You go watch Sicario 1. The ending scene when he tracked down that cartel leader and he killed his whole family in front of him. That was cold blooded.
That was the most chaotic shit I've ever seen in my life. But actually did it though, as far as like, the overall plot, the scene, the overall movie in general. The second one was better.
Hey, real quick, y'all, because we got Tammy waiting. So let me go ahead and get to Tammy. Tammy, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Coming up to disrupt anyway. Mute your mic, Tammy. Mute your mic.
Let's see if Tammy does, because I know sometimes Tammy be gone.
Let me tell y'all, and y'all know I have been speaking this for weeks. America is the drummer. Wait a minute, who's in the front? The drum major of the world. People that like, why the government? Because they started it. They the ones stirred the doggone pot. They are corrupt as hell. And I'm just now opening my eyes to it. I just looked up this list of the most dishonest professions. Do you know what the top 4 is?
Number one got to be police.
No, the number 1 is car salesman. You know, number 1 on something like this. But number 1 is the car salesman. Number 2 is number 3 is.
Tammy, you break it. Tammy, sweetie, you breaking up. You break. Yeah, you breaking up, sweetie.
Yeah, you're in the Matrix.
Yeah, come out, and come back in, and I'll bring you right back up.
The Sicario is real, dude. Sicario is real. When I seen that shit, I was like, yo, this shit go hard. Especially at the end scene when he was like, yo, you need that both of his sons? He was like, he shot both of them sons, and the way that homeboy looked at him, he was like, yo, you killed everybody in my house. He was like, I'm finna kill you too.
Tammy, you go. Tammy, can you gonna try to come back? Let me hear you now, because I know you didn't leave, but let's see if you maybe cleared up. Are you? You say you was were you traveling? I don't know. Let me give a shout out to Mr. Engaging too. Thank you for your contribution on Cash App, Mr. Engaging. Tammy, you there? I don't know if Tammy. I thought she had I thought maybe she was gonna try to come in and come out. Let me see if I can move her from speaker and maybe Tammy, you get a chance to come back up. Come on up and see. Let's see if your connection is better now, y'all. So I want to try to get you back up here because I know you was waiting. Shout out to Tarek. Shout out to Black Majority State. Shout out to Connie. Shout out to My Black is Beautiful. Shout out to some of our people that's also down here. Shout out to my man Napoleon also here. Shout out to LA Rob. Shout out to that brother. Shout out to Everson Rejects, Racist. Shout out to so many. Shout out to my sister Trouble, baby sister up in the spot as well too. Shout out to all you guys. If I missed you, Nubi, shout out to you. Shout out to Aboriginal Bookstore. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Tech. Shout out to Professor Archibald. So shout out to everybody that's up in the spot. Shout out to my sister Goddess. Shout out to my girl Diane. Diane be hanging out on YouTube. Diane said, I'm going to go chill up in the actual space tonight. So shout out to some of y'all that's up in the space as well too, y'all. I just wanted to give you a quick shout out, and shout out to those that I didn't mention, you guys. Shout out to all you guys as well too, man. Once again, this has been another great space. If y'all missed last night's space too, y'all make sure y'all catch last night's space as well too, man. That was that was fire last night. So y'all definitely make sure y'all catch last night's space because there was a lot of knowledge being dropped up in there. You had Camilla Moore, you had Judge Joe Brown, you had Dana, not to mention all of our other speakers that was up in there. Connie was speaking last night. So everybody, y'all make sure if y'all didn't get a chance to catch that actual Twitter Space Live, y'all go ahead. And if you're on YouTube, if you didn't catch it, y'all go ahead and catch that as well too. So Black, I thought I approved you to come up and speak, but how crazy these Twitter spaces are, man. I don't know the technology. I thought Elon Musk was the richest man on earth. I thought this thing was going to be run a little bit different, but apparently not. Apparently not. Okay, Black. I see you got your hand up. It's got you listed as a listener, but you got your hand up. Go ahead and speak.
Yeah, I see listener too.
Okay, now I see you as a speaker.
It just glitched. Okay, there it goes. It just got me as a speaker. Shout out to Newstoter, Ray, DJ. Rel, I hope you feel better, much better soon. So I came up. I wanted to build on what Rel was saying about bringing manufacturing home. I actually posted in the chat that there's 3 Republicans who have been introducing legislation to actually declare these cartels as military targets. And the one guy, I think the guy with the eye patch, who's a former military guy, he's been doing this since November. So it's interesting how, man, and we all know it's political theater. We know it's a duopoly. But when certain legislation comes out of one party consistently that is beneficial to Black America consistently, and the other party constantly introduces legislation that is detrimental to Black America, you sometimes have got to just wonder why we keep voting the way that we keep voting. But this reminds me of a story. This is from last year. In Pennsylvania, they introduced a law to allow immigrants to become nurses in the state of Pennsylvania. And I think after I posted that, there were several other states where they essentially were opening up the door to immigrants to come into this country and quickly, get their nursing licenses, whatever the case may be. I remember a Black woman, there was a story that I posted, a Black woman was saying how the immigrants were coming in and displacing her, even though she had all the credentials, she had all the experience, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this, unfortunately, is a common theme. I'm not surprised. I know, me being in the trucking industry, there were always these fraudulent trucking credentials that were being passed out around the country. Eventually, they cracked down a little bit, but I'm sure it still goes on, and it likely goes on in a lot of areas where credentials are required, and they have figured out a way to doctor the system. I remember myself, I started in the medical field, and I had a white manager, young guy. He, weed smoker, young college kid, just wanted to be cool, down with the bros, So he took me in his office one day and he said, look, you see that diploma on the wall? It's a fake. And so for many segments of the society, faking credentials has been a natural part of their advancement throughout the society. Let me shout out, and let me let everybody know, I want to shout out reparations2023.com. There are banners and or advertisement available on the site. So if you have something that you'd like to promote, definitely get in touch with the reparations2023.com Twitter handle. They actually do have a handle now, and reach out to them about advertising on the site. Prayers for the families. Dear God, those cartels, man, they are a government unto themselves. They have a lot of power in Mexico. Bringing back manufacturing, targeting cartels with Black majority statehood, multiple senators, multiple U.S. congressmen, multiple governors working together. In my opinion, we could actually create the legislation, get the legislation passed through to allow our forces to go into Mexico and do what must be done in situations such as this. And I'll just end on that.
All right. Thank you, Black. I guess that may be a good way of actually closing the space out tonight as well, too. I know we was up in here for about 3 hours and some change yesterday. Pretty good space. So, we had some pretty good speakers tonight. I'm not gonna press anybody else to speak or whatever. So guess we'll just go ahead and close the space out tonight. I appreciate everybody coming up in here speaking. Let me go ahead and put it on mute so nobody jumps in as well too. So I appreciate everybody coming up in here, the co-hosts, the speakers, the listeners. I appreciate all my people that supported the actual program tonight and also contributed on Cash App. That is greatly appreciated, y'all. So I definitely thank you on that as well too. We will be back. I may do something Sunday. We may do something Sunday. I'm not entirely sure, but definitely you guys know we'll be back Monday. Once again, Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all make sure that y'all catch the Twitter Spaces. If you can't catch it live, uh-oh. I was about to get ready to close it out too, because I'm like, well, nobody really wants to speak or nothing. So, it is what it is. But I see Mr. Engaging then popped up in here. And I was, generally when I get ready to go ahead and do the farewell, I'm about to close it down, but no, I don't want to do that. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. We'll go ahead and see what Mr. Engaging, because I know it's gonna be something he's gonna say. So let me go ahead and unmute this. And Mr. Engaging, how you doing tonight?
Thank you for taking the broke man special and what they call it, the Cash App.
Hey, listen, I tell the people all the time, if you only got $1 and you want to donate it, we'll take it. I appreciate anything that our people donate.
I just wanted to drop a couple of comments because I was up in the comments section because I was busy cleaning around in my other job. So one of the things I wanted to address was I feel like the Republican Party or the Republicans themselves are starting to line up to the Black community as a party. They're measuring up to some of the things that we are concerned about. Some of the things that I observed. I'm not saying that I'm caping for the Republican Party, y'all. I don't. That's even one thing. But I'm just making an observation. One is that they're against immigration a lot. Two, that they're against drug cartels or the MS-13s. That's like amongst their rhetoric on Fox News. They're against LGBTQ+. There's also been a push for a ban for Chinese nationals when it comes to STEM education. So I think there's a lot of things that could be unpacked, and we should be challenging more of our Black Republicans, asking why are they not picking the mantle up in these discussions? Why are they not amplifying this discussion more in the interest of the Black community? If you're a Republican per se, why are you not looking at from the best interests of the Black community from a Republican perspective? That would be my challenge to all those Republican people. Indirectly, because they always keep saying vote red for or all this other nonsense. But the thing is, there's a lot of things that could be unpacked that could address it, that could start remedying some of the problems and the element that's in our community. So that's just an observation that I think that we could close out on, and something that we could think about and maybe challenge some of our Republican counterparts, including the Black ones, and hold their feet to the fire. See how much they really, really are advocating for Black people and the Black interest as a Republican, or are they just doing it for white supremacy and all that other stuff? So that's just my observation, brother.
All right, and that might make a good space. We may have to go ahead and set something up for a space, and I would like to talk to some of the actual Republican people out there. I saw they had a space earlier tonight, and you had a former Republican chairman Michael Steele up in there. So that would be something definitely that you would pose to somebody of that caliber. You ask Michael Steele and stuff exactly what's in it for Black folks to go Republican. So on that note, y'all, we'll go ahead and we'll get ready to close the space out. Like I said, we may be back Sunday. If not, we'll definitely be back Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let me kick it to my co-host, Ray. Ray, you was hella quiet tonight. So I know you had some connection issues earlier. Do you and DJ want to go ahead and get something in real quick before we go ahead and close the space out?
Nah, bro, I'm good, man. Y'all know I'm moving. I'm knee deep in these boxes, so I'm just listening to everybody working. So I'll see y'all on next one. Thank y'all for stopping in.
Real talk. DJ, what about you? You there, DJ? Uh-oh. DJ might be working too, so.
He's I just saw him come off his mic and go back home.
You there, DJ? Oh, he might be in the Matrix. So
I think he just called the Matrix.
yeah, I think he might be in the Matrix. Real quick, let me give a shout out to Lewis as well too. Lewis, thank you for your contribution. You there?
Yeah. Now I had a phone call and shit. What's good?
Okay, real quick, let me give a shout out to Lewis for his contribution on Cash App as well too. So Lewis, thank you as well. I see I got my girl Aunt Lie up here. I was gonna have you say a final say, but we got Aunt Lie up here. Aunt Lie, real quick, you want to go ahead and speak real quick? And I mean, I know real quick too, sister. I know you kind of can. Yeah, I know you can kind of like go for a
I
minute.
just want to say happy birthday to DJ. Today is his birthday. Happy birthday. I wish I could sing. I would sing you a song. But since I can't, I'm going to just say happy birthday.
Have an 18th birthday, DJ.
Yeah, happy birthday. I remember last night I wished you a happy birthday, but I forgot. Happy birthday to DJ.
Happy birthday, DJ. We should be singing the Black birthday song. Aww.
Talking the Stevie Wonder song.
Don't be trying to hit them high notes out right. You know what I'm saying? I know you ain't feeling it.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, DJ.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
I love y'all. Newstoter.
Nation, Rhythmless Nation in the building. But thank you.
Real talk, y'all. So, on that note, y'all, I might as well. That's a great way to end the actual space as well, too. So, happy birthday to DJ, and like I say, thank you guys once again for coming up in the space, man, and making this another great space. So, we will see you guys Monday, but who knows? Might pop one off Sunday too. We never know. So, if we do, look out for the notifications. So, thank you guys, and we will go ahead and holler at you guys. Have a safe weekend. Everybody be safe. Rella get better. And we will go ahead and we will see you guys in a little bit.
Peace.